What's up, y'all? Matt from Custom Foodscaping here. Ryan is on the camera right now. We are in wild times. I think we all realize that. And one of the things that we want to be talking about right now more than anything is resiliency and how we can start to grow our own food and nutrition and get ourselves outside and active and doing all the things we know that feel right and positive right now. One of the things that we want to focus on are these resiliency gardens, we're gonna call them, which is basically how can we create a garden in the little spaces that you have, any little nook or cranny, as fast and cheap as possible. The method that we're gonna use for doing that is the basic sheet mulch garden method. We've got our cardboard. Underneath our cardboard is just some random grass. Any kind of grass should pretty much sheet mulch out with the cardboard on top, unless it's Bermuda grass. Ryan, let's pan to your feet. So there's a lot of this Bermuda grass. There's a lot of these rhizomes in here running around. A lot of this is dead right now, but if you see these running rhizomes, that is Bermuda grass. That is not a good candidate. You can see a little sprig of it there. This is not a good candidate for creating your resiliency garden. But there's a lot of just scrubby stuff over here that we can simply cardboard out. We call it sheet mulch it out. We're gonna go ahead and put cardboard thickly down on top of the soil surface to make sure that no grass or other weeds come up. And then we're gonna put, like, we're calling it 8 inches of compost. So we're gonna come in here. We're gonna get about 8 inches of compost on there. And then our goal here is, let's get something nutrient dense as quickly as possible from the garden, something that's gonna help aid in our resiliency. Many things could be planted right now. I'm most excited about baby greens, specifically baby greens that don't bolt when the heat comes. So specifically, I love kale because kale is A, nutrient dense, B, fast growing, and C, doesn't bolt in the heat of summer. So what we've got here is red Russian kale. Okay, this red Russian kale is gonna be ready for salad and as quick as 30 days right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get some compost sifted here on the top areas. And what this does is it brings all the little fine particles to the top surface where we're actually gonna plant our seeds, because seeds germinate better when they have really good seed to soil contact. And you can see what that did. So now we've got all the fines available. Now when I make a little row to seed into there, I've got more of these fine compost particles that are gonna adhere to that seed and help it stay moist over the next few days when we want this to germinate. Things that aid in germination right now, if you can put some clear plastic or even non-clear plastic over the bed to heat it up and lock in moisture, that's gonna aid in germination. If it's clear plastic, well, regardless, you need to take that plastic off every day after about 2 or 3 days and start checking to see if anything's germinated, because if things have germinated, that plastic needs to come off. So, how are we gonna do this? All right, so we've got our 8 inches of compost on top of our cardboard. The cardboard is slowly gonna decompose, by the way, and in another 2 months, all these roots are gonna have plenty of access to the native ground soil below. But basically, I'm just gonna make some furrows 6 inches apart. There's many ways to do this. I'm just showing you one way. Once I make these furrows, I'm gonna get my seed, and then I just roll them like this, and into that seed there. That gets me a nice little stand of baby greens. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna mound that up a little bit to lock those seeds in. Give it a nice pound. You can't really compact compost, so it's good to just touch that up, get that nice and level so that water can easily sit on there. So we just finished sowing our red Russian kale. This bed is all ready. As soon as 30 days, we could have some of this coming out of the garden here. Other crops we're thinking about being able to grow in a situation like this are things like potatoes, especially for a different set of nutrition, nothing nothing as good as potatoes and greens together. So you can be planting potatoes right now, but keep in mind that potatoes are going to take several months for you to even have new potatoes or little baby potatoes, whereas the greens we can have really, really quickly. So that's just something to keep in mind. Other things we could be planting right now are things like onion sets or any of the cold hardy vegetables we could really be growing. One of the things that I think is key to resiliency might be cabbage, because cabbage is one of those spring vegetables that you can grow and it will store for months potentially in the fridge. On that same note, many carrots and beets and bigger turnips will store for a very long time. So those are also great resiliency vegetables. And let us know what y'all think of this. We are here to support your food growing adventures and your resiliency efforts as it relates to anything that we can share our knowledge about. So please leave comments or questions and we will do our very best to get back to them and try to support you. And go ahead and give the Resiliency Garden a try. And for just with some compost and cardboard, you can get started gardening right now and make yourself a little bit more resilient. Ryan, how we doing?
I think we're doing good, Matt. That was great. Maybe talk about where somebody can get this compost from, or cardboard for that matter.
Great question. Well, cardboard's in every dumpster all over town. And if you don't have access to cardboard in your own dumpster or trash can, lots of good places are furniture stores and appliance stores and bike shops and motorcycle bike shops and all kinds of places like that. The compost we get this stuff all over town. There's many great vendors: St. Louis Composting, Kirkwood Material Supply, Brentwood Material Supply. Those are the ones that we are typically utilizing, but I'm sure there's other places that I'm missing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Happy gardening, everybody.